Oliver, where's the podcast? How do you misfile the podcast? It's alphabetical. You know, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I'm not going to go through with all that because you get the point.
Say the last line, though.
I never misfiled anything. Not once. Not one time.
Alright, welcome to It's Always Sunny in Hollywood. Today we're going to be talking about our first Nic Cage movie?
I believe so, yeah.
Alright, hell yeah. I'm your host, Red. That Nic Cage impression was done by Lugia.
I'm a vampire.
Yes.
And
there's
my
a
name is
third guy.
Patrick. My name is Patrick. I'm the third guy. I am not a vampire, at least not to my knowledge.
Alright.
Anyway, before we jump into the movie, we got some things to talk about in news. So, to start off, the big thing that happened this week is the Winter Olympics have begun. The Beijing Winter Olympics. And these games are noteworthy for two reasons. One, Beijing is hosting them, and they previously hosted the 2008 games. And this makes Beijing the first city to host both the Summer and Winter Olympics. So that's pretty cool. And the second big reason these games are noteworthy is because, holy crap, these are probably the most controversial Olympics since 1980.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there's a good reason for that.
Because China's got some things going on right now. You guys watch the Olympics?
I caught a bit of it.
Usually do. I didn't even realize it started already. I thought this year was a summer year.
No, here's how it works. Every leap year is when the Summer Olympics are.
Oh, this year's leap year?
No, the Summer Olympics. Winter Olympics are held in between. All right, here's how you do it. If
every election year is
Yes, every election year. If the year is divisible by 4, then it's the Summer Olympics. The in-between years are the Winter Olympics.
Yeah, who did the torch thing this year? Usually they got someone like important.
I actually didn't see the opening ceremony. I watched a little bit of skating and bobsledding last night, though.
I caught figure skating last night. That was it.
Yeah, that one's always impressive. Oh my god! Jesus Christ!
What?
I looked up torch on Twitter to find out who did the torch thing, and a bunch of porn showed up. Like, oh my god!
Sorry, what? What?
Yeah, don't look up torch on Twitter, viewers.
I don't have Twitter, so that won't be a problem for me. Jeez. Yeah, Winter Olympics. Kind of a touchy subject right now. And speaking of controversies, Joe Rogan was kind of being talked about this week because he's been getting involved in...
Yeah,
What?
so... Well, this is kind of an extension of a previous controversy he had. So he's already had controversies because of the vaccine thing. I know a bunch of musicians pulled out of Spotify last week. And now he has a completely different controversy because he said the N-word a bunch of times.
Yeah, that was just yesterday, I think, that it broke out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because originally, earlier in the week, it was the whole thing about misinformation about COVID, and a bunch of artists wanted their stuff removed from Spotify.
Yep.
And, just when you think we're clear of that, this happens. Do you guys listen to Joe Rogan at all?
No.
Not really.
I've
seen like a few. I've seen some clips on him when with Bill Burr, the comedian Bill Burr, because I like Bill Burr stuff. So I saw once or twice a clip on YouTube, but that's it.
Taking a break from controversy. Actually, you know what? We have one more controversy to talk about. Brad, I'll hand that to you. Then we can move.
We have a lot of controversies, actually. I think this is 90% controversy. This news section.
Okay, then let's just get the controversial stuff out the way first.
Okay, well, in a more positive controversy thing, Troy Baker, who last week had a controversy because he was doing NFTs, is now backing off of NFTs. So that's more of a controversy undone. Then,
but you know who's getting into NFTs now? Brie Larson.
Brie Larson, yes, actually, that was important news. We probably shouldn't mention. Brie Larson just got into NFTs. Yeah. Well, to be fair, not to be fair, to knock down other people. Tom Holland also got into NFTs. I think Tobey Maguire got into NFTs. So
what is it with all the NFTs? Why?
It's a scam that benefits people who are already rich.
It also hurts the environment.
Of course.
Okay, so back to controversies. The Masked Singer had a controversy because Rudy Giuliani turned out to be one of the contestants. So the two of the judges left in protest. Those judges being Ken Jeong and Robin Thicke, which is kind of funny because people are like, man, if Robin Thicke has issues with you, you really suck.
Okay, when I first heard about this, I have questions. What prompted Rudy Giuliani to what?
I mean, the Masked Singer is just like famous people. I don't, Kermit the
I
Frog
know,
showed up on the Masked Singer
I know,
once.
but it's just it's weird to me that Rudy Giuliani of all people would do it. No, nothing to I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just
I
weird.
found it funny though. So I mentioned the Kermit the Frog thing. The Kermit the Frog. I saw some clips of Masked Singer. Kermit the Frog's reveal got the biggest reaction I've ever seen
Really.
on this show. Yeah, because it was like they removed the head. No one like shows up to like who is it? Who is it? And then Kermit just pops out. Everyone just goes crazy because it's Kermit the Frog. Everyone likes Kermit.
Did he not sound anything like Kermit when he was singing?
No, here's the thing. One of the judges actually thought there was like, man, it kind of sounds like Kermit the Frog. But they just didn't like think that it could be Kermit the Frog. So they're like, it must be a voice actor like Seth MacFarlane. So that was their guess. They thought of Seth MacFarlane doing an impression of Kermit the Frog, not the actual Kermit.
I'm gonna sing a song.
So Whoopi Goldberg was suspended from The View. That's another controversial thing. That's because she made some weird comments about the Holocaust. So
Does this have any connection to that book ban about what is it called? Moss?
No, it doesn't. But I know what you're talking about.
What's the
Yeah.
book called?
That's the first
It's
I've heard.
Moss.
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 Okay. Yeah.
Or I don't know how it's pronounced. It's spelled Maus. And it basically uses mice and cats as like a metaphor for the Holocaust.
Probably
Yeah,
mouse
so-
then.
So this is something entirely different.
Yes.
Huh.
All right.
Fablemans.
What'd you say?
I said Fablemans. This is your jurisdiction.
What are we talking about?
Fablemans.
David
What's
Lynch.
Fablemans?
Steven
Oh!
Spielberg. David. You were the one who put it.
Yeah, that's not a controversy though. Let me finish the controversies. All right.
Oh, I thought we were. Whatever. There was a long,
Okay.
awkward silence, and I'm like, we need to talk about something.
Yeah, no, I was looking up to see what Whoopi Goldberg's specific comments were, but whatever. I just
Boba
knew she
Fett.
said some. Yeah, okay. So Boba Fett. Couple controversies here. One, apparently, last few episodes have barely featured Boba Fett, so some fans are upset. A lot of fans are actually happy though, saying that now the show's good because apparently Boba Fett's like a boring character. And a much bigger controversy though is with the Mark Hamill. So Luke Skywalker is in the show, and he is completely CGI. They aren't even using Mark Hamill's real voice. They're getting a synthesizer to do the voice. And people are like, this is really fucking creepy. And the only reason,
Are they using Mark Hamill's likeness?
yeah, well, see,
so
here's the
it
thing.
From the
it looks
screenshot I
like-
saw, it looked like they were trying to make him look like how he did in episode 6.
Yeah.
But to be fair, you
I don't
can't
think
really
it was
get Mark Hamill for that because he's like way older now.
Yeah, but like, what most shows did, including Star Wars, is that they just like recast people. It's a little bit weird to do this CGI thing. Like, this is the thing. I saw the clip, and it feels like a robot. Like, the voice is very obviously synthetic. And sure, later down the line they'll probably clear the kinks, but I don't think this is like a good thing. The fact that Disney's had this controversy before because if you've seen Rogue One, Peter Cushing's character was in the movie. Peter Cushing was dead for 20 years. So like
Same thing with
they
Carrie Fisher
straight-
during episode 9.
Yeah.
the Carrie Fisher one is fine because she did consent, like 'cause she was gonna be in episode 9. She was already like intending to be there, and they just use archival footage. For this one, it's like completely CGI. Like there's no human involved in this acting thing with Mark Hamill, and I don't think that sets a good precedence. Mark is cool with it, but like we've seen, like they did it with Peter Cushing. Clearly, Disney does not care if they get permission or not. So I don't think I don't know. I think it's weird. Some fans seem happy. I don't personally understand that because like the way I see it is if you care so much about Mark Hamill's portrayal that you only want to see Mark, what are you getting out of this? Because Mark's not there, there's no performance being done. It's like like if it was like The Irishman where Mark was still performing and they just like CGI de-aged him, like they did that in some of the Marvel movies, then I'd be okay with it. But if that's not what happened, like there wasn't a single person involved in this process.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I don't know.
I think
Anyway,
I think the last kind of controversy we have is the Gilbert Sunner thing.
okay, kind
Is
of.
is
Kind of.
There's a
is
few more controversies actually.
Jesus, man.
All right, so first let's get it. Gilvison is deleting his YouTube channel because Nintendo has
No,
issued
he already deleted it.
thousands. Okay, he already deleted his YouTube channel because Nintendo has issued thousands of copyright strikes against him, and he's just like, I just can't handle this anymore. So, people are obviously very mad at Nintendo, because of this.
Nintendo, iTunes is a thing. Use it.
I think Nintendo is naive enough to believe that people are actually gonna like use a Nintendo Switch as like an MP3 player. I'm like, Nintendo, this thing is fucking huge. No one's
That's
gonna use that.
exactly how they advertised the My Music portion of Smash Ultimate.
Yeah. Like, listen, like the 3DS era, sure. Even though when you close the 3DS, which is what people are gonna do, the device gets put on mute. So I mean, like it goes on sleep mode.
Did the 3DS was put on mute when you closed it?
Yeah, it
It's
went
put
on
on
sleep
sleep
mode
mode.
completely.
I got rid of my 3DS years ago. I don't remember.
Oh, why'd you get rid of it?
I accidentally wiped the entire system memory when I was trying to do something else.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I was an idiot. I didn't. I wasn't. I don't know.
But yeah, so sad day for the gaming community. Surely the most oppressed race. Wordle got bought out by the New York Times, which is slightly controversial because people don't like it because like the New York Times they tend to they put a paywall behind almost all their services, so people are like, damn, this thing was like a cool free thing, and now you know a giant company is taking over it. So oh well. I'm happy for the creator though. He made this thing as like a gift for his wife, and now he got paid like $9 million for it. So hell yeah.
Huh.
It's like a fucking fairy tale, huh? Make a gift for your wife and then become rich.
Kudos to him though.
Yeah, kudos to him.
Do we have any other controversies to talk about?
This isn't really a controversy. It's much more of like people are shitting on it. So the new Comedy Central cartoon Fairview.
Okay. So we're done with the controversial stuff.
Kind of.
Okay, Sam Hyde's a controversial figure, but the documentary itself isn't controversial. That's just a complicated story.
So it's uphill from here, basically.
It's uphill from here.
Good. Okay. So Fairview, or as I like to call it, the beanbag cartoon, because everybody looks like a beanbag chair.
I think everyone looks like a Bitmoji. This looks like a mobile game. Like I first thought it was a mobile game ad.
This looks like an ad for like one of those computer games, like those really low budget computer games
Like
that you
flash
have no
games.
idea what they even
Like,
are.
Papa's Pizzeria, but you got Archer's face like stapled over it.
Other than that,
So far, the humor, the clips in the dialogue doesn't seem funny. It just seems like one of those generic adult cartoons where everyone's an asshole and like
yeah,
there's nothing to it.
It's another adult cartoon, except it looks like a cheap flash game.
Yeah, it's so weird. Like cause like successful adult cartoons are like good. So I don't know why they make ones that are like so obviously bad. Like I know like there's probably moderate success when like the cost is so low, but like I don't know. Like South Park, like Comedy Central.
South Park has an excuse because they talk about.
No. I brought up South Park. I was gonna be like Comedy Central has South Park, which is one of the most like best written, most successful shows ever. And you'd think that like they've tried to recreate South Park's success so many times, and yet they never succeeded. And it's because just the writing is so different. Because there is like, as edgy as South Park is, there's like there is a heart to it, very much.
There are intelligent people working behind it.
Yeah, and also like they're actual characters. Like there's a huge difference between all the Cartman is like the asshole character. The rest of the characters aren't assholes. They're straight men. Butters is just a complete lovable goof. And what's Comedy Central's other big cartoon? Oh yeah, they got Futurama for a while. Like that's completely different from anything else they've had. And I don't know what else did they have. Like did they have Duckman? I don't know. I think they had some.
No, I think It's definitely MTV. Yeah, I think it was MTV.
Yeah, I know. A lot of MTV's cartoons like eventually went to Comedy Central, like either
Yeah,
just
like
in reruns
Beavis and
or
Butthead.
revivals. Yeah, Beavis and Butthead had a revival, I think. Yeah,
Mm.
looks
I'm
ugly. Doesn't look funny.
Yeah, I'm not
Probably
checking it
never
out.
gonna hear about it ever again. Who knows?
Yeah.
Until it comes out.
Honestly, I don't know how many people are gonna watch it. Like maybe like Ellis Mark or some animation YouTuber will
Yeah.
make a video on it.
Be honest, I never even heard of Fairview until you told us about it, Red.
Yeah.
Guys, 2022 is the year of Pinocchio. Because we
Yeah.
got 3 Pinocchio movies. We got the Netflix one by Guillermo del Toro. We got
Which
a
looks
Disney
good.
one. We got a Disney one by Robert Zemeckis.
Which is
And
probably not
we
gonna be
have
good.
this one from Lionsgate called Pinocchio: A True Story. And
Father. Oh
okay,
no.
God.
this has been circling around the internet for a few days now, and it's solely because of Pinocchio's voice. He's voiced by Pauly Shore, and the best way I can describe it is, you guys know from Dynasty Warriors the infamous "Feel the Power of My Magic."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically that. It's basically that.
You
This-
flaming idiots!
It's just really. This is like video game voice acting from like the early 2000s.
To be fair, the dialogue is no better. Literally in the beginning, they make a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle joke.
Yeah, it's like what? I'm trying to think of like what's some of the worst examples of video game voice acting you could think of. This sounds like just like it. You'll turn into a Jill sandwich. The Mega Man X5 ending, oh my god, what's happening?
Oh yeah,
That's X4.
X4.
which Mega Man one is the one? Dr. Wiwi.
That's
Oh,
8.
Mega Man 8.
Yes, Mega Man
Dr.
8.
Wowie.
Dr. Wiwi.
Yes, the worst Mega Man.
Yes, Elmer Fudd is Dr. White.
Yeah.
Be
Be very quiet. I'm hunting robots.
We must
hunting robot
locate the evil
masters.
energy immediately, Mega Man.
So yeah, that's really the only thing worth noting.
Yeah,
About
it's
the trailer?
just very funny. I highly recommend you people after finishing this podcast look it up. iDubbbz, Sam Hyde. So basically, so Sam Hyde is a very controversial. Let me just give us some background. Sam Hyde's a very controversial comedian. He was very funny. He was operating the same sort of space as Filthy Frank, but he eventually. Okay, so basically, he was like Filthy Frank mixed with Tim and Eric, if you're familiar with both of them.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually, he actually got a Comedy Central, not Comedy Central, an Adult Swim TV show. But it got canceled because, unlike Tim and Filthy Frank, where it was a bit, Sam Hyde actually was had very iffy, controversial beliefs, as in he was associated with the alt-right, stuff like that. And like while he did have like some funny stuff, it was iffy. Honestly, I'd argue his funniest stuff was the stuff that wasn't edgy, and basically ever since his show got canceled, he's just been on like a downward spiral. And basically iDubbbz was gonna do a documentary on this, and Sam Hyde, I guess in one last hurrah, decided to just come up with this very elaborate plan to just fuck with iDubbbz the entire time he was there for the documentary. And so Sam, like a month ago, released all the footage of it, and as iffy as a guy is, he does do some pretty crazy shit, and I was like, holy shit. And then last week, iDubbbz released his side of the story. So the documentaries themselves aren't controversial. It's more of just like very controversial figures. I mean, iDubbbz is also pretty controversial because again, he's an edgy comedian, so
Do you guys watch iDubbbz at all?
No.
like used to.
I've
Not as
seen him in
like
Filthy
more.
Frank skits, but that's it.
I've
Yeah.
seen clips of him and all of the clips I've seen of iDubbbz. I always stop and question everything.
Yeah, I haven't really watched him in like 2 years. I saw this one just because Sam Hyde's such a fascinating figure. I'm like, man, this is some weird shit. Content warning. This movie covers some very uncomfortable stuff. There's sexual assault in this movie that makes you
Yeah.
uncomfortable. I would recommend maybe viewer discretion is advised.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, shall we get on with the show?
Yeah.
Vampire's Kiss. Take it away, Lugia.
Alright, despite this movie being called Vampire's Kiss, it really doesn't have a whole lot to do with vampires. which is the ironic part. So
Yes.
this movie stars Nicolas Cage. He plays the main character Peter Lowe, and he puts on what would you call the accent he puts on?
I would call it a cross between Patrick Bateman and Ted Logan from Bill and Ted.
Honestly, I'd call it from what I when I was listening to the movie, I could only think to myself, he sounds like he's trying to do a very elegant impression of Donald Trump. Because I mean, like when people imitate Donald Trump, they kind of talk like this. But like he's in his upper register. He's like, Elva, don't, I'm a businessman doing business, Elva. Don't use the word smart with me, Elva.
Yeah, I was just thinking like, be excellent to each other, and also, have you heard of Huey Lewis in the News? Like it felt like the inflection was just like right in between. That's what it felt to me, which is fun. I'm pretty sure this movie actually came out the same year as Bill and Ted. This is '89, right?
Yes.
Or '88?
Mm-hmm. 89.
So this movie was directed by Robert Bierman and written by Joseph Minion. I'm not too familiar with any of their works.
Nor am I.
Yeah, Here, actually, let me just look it up real quick on Letterboxd. Okay, so Robert Bierman has directed no movies I'm familiar with, but he has a decent amount of experience. He's made some generally well-received movies. Yeah, doesn't seem like he's a bad director, but definitely at least a competent one. And the writer actually I'm familiar with because he wrote a Martin Scorsese movie. He made the movie After Hours, which is about basically the worst night of a man's life. One of Scorsese's best, actually. So there's actually some talent working in here. Like, I don't know. Definitely like my top 10 Scorsese movies. My number 6, actually.
It's funny how you mentioned that synopsis for After Hours, because that's basically what this movie is.
Yeah.
Well,
like, okay.
Instead of one night, it's a series of multiple nights.
Yeah, so this movie has this movie is very similar to, like, I'd say After Hours and
American Psycho.
I did say American Psycho, but to keep it on the Scorsese thing, it's like Taxi Driver, because like Taxi Driver is about a man, or no, not Taxi Driver, King of Comedy, because King of Comedy is basically about this insane man getting more insane, and After Hours is basically just really like this one just fucked up night, just this things just keep getting worse, and he's just a complete like wreck by the end of it, and it's like, yeah, and they're both like dark comedies.
So this movie made
this was a bomb.
It was yeah. It didn't even make. It only made
half its budget.
It had a budget of $2 million and it only made like 725,000.
Yeah, it did.
So
yeah,
didn't even crack seven digits.
It probably was ultimately profitable because it was a cult classic, so probably got like a bunch of VHS rentals. But yeah, its reception on like Rotten Tomatoes, IMDb, all that stuff is around like the 60% mark. So like it's on the positive end currently, but it's still, you know, people really don't know what to make of this movie because some people think it's so bad it's good, but other people are like it's too intentional to be so bad it's good. So is it just actually good? Like it's confusing. It's like in a similar spots like maybe not Black Dynamite, because Black Dynamite is like intentionally so bad it's good, but it's like in a different way. But yeah, I don't know. It's hard to explain. So let's see the plot of the movie. Dude gets a hickey, thinks he got bit by a vampire, slowly goes insane.
That's pretty much it. Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
He does have a love affair with someone else who he thinks is a vampire.
Yeah, that's the lady who gave him the hickey.
Yeah. I don't think it's very clear whether or not she was actually one.
No, she wasn't a vamp. This dude was just going insane. I don't even think like the girl like because at the end of the movie didn't like she be like, you know, I want to be with you. Like what the fuck? Like I think
he's
like,
at the club and
I'm 90% sure
there.
She is hallucinating. He isn't hallucinating 90% of his interactions with this woman. It's only like the first few I think they actually had.
But what was the trigger? The bat that was flying into the window that one night?
Well, he did say that.
Yeah, who knows?
He
Maybe
got
he got
turned
rabies.
on by it.
Yeah, he got.
My guess is like
I was in Mortal Kombat with a fucking bat.
Yeah, but I think he just had like mental issues for a while, and it just like eventually festered. Yeah. Anyway, greatest performance of all time, quite possibly.
Yeah, Nic Cage is so good in this role.
This is the Nic Cage show. Even after the MGM logo comes up, it doesn't say like MGM presents or anything. It just says Nicolas Cage in.
Yeah, this is
Vampires,
a
yes.
very wise choice to focus on him because no one else can compare. Like, I wonder if like the script had like other characters have a focus, and then when they were filming, they're just like, nah, just gonna drag anytime he's not on screen. Because it does. Like anytime Nick Cage isn't on screen, the movie's kind of like mediocre.
Honestly,
Um,
I can only think of 2 scenes where he wasn't in it.
yeah, I know, and he's on screen for 9% of the movie, so 9% of the movie is a good time. So yeah, but a bizarre voice. He goes incredibly like insane.
I'll give it he's committed.
Yeah,
He is
you know the
definitely committed.
yeah, like for the roach scene, that was not initially a roach. Like that was
That was supposed to be
meant
a
to be
raw
like
egg,
yeah.
but
He
he
was just like,
insisted
give me
that
a
it would be a
cockroach.
cockroach.
Yeah, so he ate an actual cockroach.
And he wasn't even supposed to eat it either. It would just end with him picking up the cockroach and looking at it, and it would jump cut to the next scene. But Nick Cage, being the mad lad that he is, put it in his mouth and started chewing on it.
Like I said,
Yeah.
committed.
The scene where he screams, "I'm a vampire." Those weren't actors. The director just unleashed a madman into the streets. Same thing when he asked people to drive the stake into his heart.
Actually, to quote another Nicolas Cage movie, he's loose.
Yes, the juice is loose. This is this is the most batshit movie I've ever seen. Like, quite frankly. Let's see. From filmmaking, decently like shot. I don't know. Wasn't like poorly shot or anything.
Nothing wowed me when it came to cinematography.
Yeah, it wasn't like a particularly good looking movie, but it was serviceable. It did the job. Personally, I think any flashy camera tricks would just distract from the Cage. So
Yeah.
The only shot that really stood out to me was that one shot where he walks into his apartment building and he's on the phone, and it's a down view of the lobby.
there are a lot of shots that were memorable to me, but all of them are just Nick Cage's face.
No, but I mean, like when they actually got fancy with
Yeah,
the camera
I know.
work.
I know
That's
what
the
you
only
mean.
shot that stood out. The rest of it was okay.
Yeah, I thought this shot actually had some decent lighting. This one that I put here.
The one where he's just
yeah.
staring at the TV.
And he's just like, duh.
Yeah. The soundtrack had a very cheesy horror movie vibe. Like, I don't know if you ever seen like, I don't know, Friday the 13th movies, but like it got like a very 80s synth horror movie vibe to it.
Yeah, I did like the piece when he's after his first therapy session, he's getting ready to go out. Just because of the piano. The piano was very jazzy. I like that.
Okay, so anyway, let's just quickly get out our opinions on this. I think this is a generally good movie. Lugia, you think this is so bad it's a good movie. What about you, Patrick?
Okay. My thoughts on this movie can basically summed up with one line from the movie, actually. And that is in the scene where he's chasing Alva into the bathroom and the old lady says, "What the fuck is going on?" That was basically me the entire time because I had no idea what to even think.
Yeah, this was Patrick's first time watching this movie.
You guys
insisted, for us, it was a rewatch.
You guys insisted we all watch this together, and I did, and oh my goodness. This movie is nuts.
Yeah, so anyway, I would argue it's generally a top-notch satire because like I think it's meant to be a criticism of like a lot of relationships and like modern lifestyle. I've compared it to American Psycho, but I also think it's got a lot of similarities to the corporate side of American Psycho because like let's be real, Nicolas Cage is a biz exec. He is like a high powerful person in this company, and he is a childish, abusive piece of shit. I feel like that's kind of like self-explanatory commentary, talking about like he's got delusions of grandeur, delusions just in general. I really like that that final scene where he's just like a bloody like mess, and he thinks he's talking to his therapist, but he's just hallucinating and talking to a lamppost or whatever.
No, he was talking to the side of a building.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, side of a building.
And he pretended he had a new girlfriend with him.
Yeah. But yeah, I think the story is pretty good once you get over the shock of the performance. But one thing I need to mention that I don't think you guys aren't particularly familiar with the original Dracula story, right? You haven't read the books or whatever?
Bram Stoker?
No, I didn't. I was gonna say I saw a play, but actually I didn't see it. I saw Frankenstein as a play.
Okay, so this is why you guys might be missing some of the satirical elements, because this movie is, in my opinion, a deconstruction / parody of the vampire genre. Alongside the modern relationship and narcissism like satire. So in the original thing, there's this character called Rensfield who's basically like hypnotized by Dracula, and everyone like thinks he's crazy. This movie is basically is asking the question: what if Dracula never existed and Rensfield was really crazy all along? And Yeah, so basically this is a Dracula movie, but the main character is Rensfield instead of Dracula. Yeah.
I have a question. I have a question.
Yes.
There's something about this movie I really don't understand. What is the connection between his vampire tendencies and him wanting Alva to find the contract?
That's the thing. I think this is very much like a Jekyll and Hyde situation.
Yeah,
Again,
that's what I was thinking too. But
but no,
it's
here's the thing.
his
Not
vampire
not
side wants.
not the Jekyll and Hyde thing that you're thinking of. Okay, so everyone knows the Jekyll and Hyde story as being like a split personality thing.
Mhm.
In the original book, it's not a split personality thing. Jekyll is just a piece of shit, and Hyde's basically an excuse. That's what I think. I think that Nick Cage is just a bad person, and this is basically like a villain arc for him. And the vampire thing is sort of like a kickstart of him just sort of letting loose of the kind of horrible person he really is. He's kind of abusive from the start, so I think this is just how he treats people. This is just how he treats his employees, and as he's going slowly insane with the vampire stuff, his normal stuff in his regular life just gets more and more,
And that's
crazy.
probably why he has those therapy sessions. Even
Yeah.
before the movie starts, it's implied that he's been doing that for a while.
Yeah, because he's just,
Yeah.
yeah. It's a very odd case because like you can definitely watch it as a so bad it's good movie, but I know it's intentional because like the dude was like, yeah, we're gonna do this in the streets because this is funny. It was like advertised as a comedy. The overacting schizophrenic story structure, makes sense with the themes of this dude going like insane. So like definitely the same genre as American Psycho. Like, is
Here's
it
the
an
thing.
intentional so bad it's good movie? I would argue that, sure. You can say it's an
Yeah, here's the
intentionally so
thing,
bad it's good movie.
because I find this movie very hard to take seriously.
Well, see, here's the thing. I don't know, because I found the way he treated Alva, like that stuff was actually like pretty sickening. Like
It
that
was,
like
yeah.
effective to me. Like I don't know. Like I generally do not like this man. I think he's a piece of shit. Like a lot of people, they like Patrick Bateman. Like this one, I'd argue it's a little bit more successful American Psycho because like this guy is such a ghoul. Like I just do not hate him. Patrick Bateman, he kills like people just like him, so you really don't give a shit until like the end.
But the way he
when he
interacts
starts.
with everyone else, and just, well, the way he also interacts with himself, you just can't take this man seriously. He's a cartoon
yeah.
character in real life.
Yeah, and you could argue this is kind of like the realistic consequences of
Would
what
you
would
take
happen
a
if
man
cartoon character
seriously
in real
if he
life.
cried boo-hoo?
I don't know. But the cartoon character thing kind of brings up a real point. This is almost to me kind of like I don't know, maybe like the Roger Rabbit thing, where it's like, what if a cartoon character was in real life? Eddie is all like, "Oh, a toon killed my brother." That toon was Nicolas Cage. I just want to make clear, Patrick Bateman is a piece of shit. He did like fucked up things to like women too. It's just like his performance is like a bit more, is different enough from Nick Cage, where like he's more likable than Nick Cage, if that makes sense. But yeah, very much. I think this is satire on vampire lore and like modern culture and standards. Powerful people abuse, narcissism, all that junk.
I have another question.
But yeah.
What was the mime slap? The two mimes outside of his apartment building slapping
For
each
that
other.
one scene and nowhere else. I think it was just to set the mood of the city.
I'm no expert in mimery, but isn't like the first rule to not make any noise?
I don't know.
Those were loud slaps. I don't know. That threw me off. I'm like, what? Again, they never show up anywhere else, so I'm like, okay.
But yeah.
Actually, this movie is ripe for an out of context video because there are so many scenes where you'd never guess like what the setup
most
was.
people have seen this video out of context because
I know.
most
Because of
Nick Cage,
the meme.
yeah,
The-
most Nick Cage compilations are just this movie and like one or two scenes from The Wicker Man and maybe like Bad Lieutenant.
Yeah.
I think my favorite moment in this entire movie was when he's outside of Alva's house and he's like, "Look, soup." That was my favorite moment.
I love all the faces Nick Cage does. If I ever become a cartoonist, I'm just 100% tracing over his face from this movie because there's so
We
many
can't
good
forget the
facial
iconic
expressions.
face where everyone
Yes,
says that's where he says you don't
say.
say. Yeah, but he
Yeah.
doesn't say that in this movie.
No, that's him telling Alva that she is at the bottom of the food chain at the office.
I
You're
could
the
think of
lowest on
no
the
other
totem pole.
person for this terrible job.
You're the lowest person on the totem pole here, Alva. It's a similar case to the Morpheus meme. He never says, "What if I told you?"
Yes, he doesn't. Actually, a lot of memes are like this. I
Yeah,
know,
a lot of memes.
even just like memorable quotes and stuff. Just like no, I am your father instead of Luke, I am
Yeah.
your father, that kind of stuff. But yeah.
Even
Anyway,
yeah.
Nicolas Cage kind of reminded me of this one image of Goofy a couple times in this movie. Just the way
Oh,
he
the
does it.
milkman. Maybe.
Yeah, 'cause
Milkman.
he's got like a similar face. Yeah, if you want to be a cartoonist, I recommend watching this movie as like as a study to like just good comedic faces because
say this
it's
mo-
Also,
I'd
don't
say-
forget the part where he's in the club with the plastic vampire teeth.
yeah.
And his eyes are constantly open as he's looking around for next to bite.
Yeah. So yeah, very funny movie. In my opinion, probably the best So Bad It's Good movie we've seen. Even though
thought you
I'd
said
agree to that.
Yeah.
I think it's
Yeah.
good, but like in terms of like the comedic okay, let's just say it's the funniest movie we've seen. Period. What other comedies have we seen? I mean, Pulp Fiction was
Spider-Man
pretty funny.
3.
We've seen a lot of comedies.
Yeah,
Actually,
honestly,
because
it's funnier than Spider-Man 3. And also Spider-Man 3 I also genuinely think is good. Fuck you. This is funny, like I'm the one with the most like pretentious taste, and I'm also the one that defends like the schlockiest crap. That's my taste, just complete like schlocky stuff with heart and
yeah.
really
Yeah.
artistic junk.
And Lugia, you totally lean on the so bad it's good side.
Absolutely.
And you are the neutral company. You're like you're the normal person. You're like how like a lot of TV shows when a character like goes through like a major like character arc, there's a lot of insane characters and they have like that one dude that just
I'm the
is
straight man,
consistent.
basically.
You're the straight man.
I'm the straight man.
Jesse, we have to cook. Oh wait, no, wait. Election's the funniest movie we've seen. Okay, never mind. That one's like just generally good, but yeah, this one's hilarious. I gave it an 8 out of 10, unironic. At least 8 out of 10, like entertainment value. Fuck it, like I'm just 8 out of 10.
I gave it an 8 out of 10 just overall.
I liked this movie. I wouldn't say I liked it as much as you guys did, but I do think it's worth it just for the crazy ass Nicolas Cage performance. This movie does get kind of uncomfortable at points though, so
Yeah,
not the most accessible.
Yeah,
movie.
I feel like
Okay,
this
actually,
movie would be funny to watch with other people who haven't seen it, hence why we saw it with Patrick who didn't.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what? Yeah, this movie kind of reminds me of James Gunn's Super, although that one's a more genuinely good movie where it's just completely insane. But there's also like an incredibly deeply fucked up streak about it.
Yeah.
And both are about mentally ill people going completely insane. Although James Gunn's Super is a lot more sympathetic because he's not a piece of shit. Yeah, I'm gonna add this to the recommendation list. Super, because it's very similar. But yeah, anyway, if you like this movie, some other movies you can check out are obviously American Psycho, King of Comedy, and After Hours. I've made so many comparisons to them; it'd be insane for me to say, you know what, don't watch them. Yeah. I'd also recommend Martin, which is a vampire movie by, I believe, George A. Romero. It's got some similarities. Bamboozled by Spike Lee. That one's much more overtly a satire. There's some parallels that remind me of it. Both versions of Bad Lieutenant, both the Nic Cage one and the original one, they're both similar to this for different reasons. I'd recommend Jim Carrey's The Mask. I kind of feel like there's a similar thing with the Jim Carrey's performance here. Like probably his best performance is completely insane. The Mask is a much more put together movie though. I think most people would agree The Mask is genuinely good.
Yeah.
And
really.
I obviously
It's
mentioned
got a lot of
Super.
CGI though.
Yeah, but it holds up fine enough.
Yeah, it's
I rewatched The Mask like a month ago. It holds up.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, I especially want to mention The Mask because see, Nic Cage is entertaining before he goes insane, and I think in The Mask, Jim Carrey is entertaining even when he's not in the mask mode because Jim Carrey, and I quote, said he doesn't want people to just be like, wait for the mask to show up. They want people to like it the entire time. So
That's
Jim
fair.
Carrey played it like
Jim Carrey's
that.
delightful no matter what.
Yeah. Can't wait to see him snooping as usual.
What?
Pingus.
Eggman.
Oh yeah, Sonic the Hedgehog 2's coming out, baby. Woo!
Yeah, this year. Who
Yeah.
knows? Maybe it's going to be the most successful American movie of the year, just like 2020. Actually, no, I think Bad Boys 2 is the most successful American movie of
I don't know.
2019, or whatever year it came out. Yeah,
2020.
2020. Yeah. Okay.
2020.
I believe it's now Patrick's turn to.
Yes, your
That it
recommendation.
is.
Yes.
Okay, so guys,
first recommendation of Valentine's Day, I think.
okay, yeah. Glad you brought that up because I have a question. do I want to be predictable and do a romantic film, or do I want to do something completely not romantic?
Is it still related to Valentine's Day though? If it's not romantic,
Not really, no.
You have options for us?
yeah, just tell
Um,
us.
Actually, no, I didn't want to tell you the options.
All right.
but
I
I just
kind of
do-
want to go the romantic route, but I don't know. I'm planning on recommending one next week, a romantic comedy. So you don't have to, because I
I
already got
know,
that covered.
I know, but this is one movie I've kind of been wanting to talk about for a while.
Yeah, go ahead.
You know
Yeah.
what? Yeah, I'll do it. Okay, so guys, yeah, Valentine's Day is coming up. Love is in the air, all that stuff. So, what better time to talk about an adaptation of Romeo and Juliet?
Is this the Baz Luhrmann one?
No, it's not.
Is
You
it
think that
Nomeo and Juliet?
It's not Romeo and Juliet. Okay.
Is it Lion King 2?
No, okay, guys. Let me tell you okay.
All right.
Yeah, so there's Romeo and Juliet, the love story of love stories, one of the most adapted works ever. So yeah, vast selection to choose from. It's not the Baz Luhrmann one. It's not Romeo and Juliet. It's not any of those.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of the more infamous adaptations.
Ah,
So for next week, we're going to be talking about Romeo and Juliet, Sealed with a Kiss.
have
I
never
don't
heard of
believe I've
this.
heard of this one before.
I've not seen this myself, but I've heard bad things, and I'm just curious.
All right, I'm just gonna look it up real quick. Romeo and Juliet, Sealed with
The
a
Baz
Kiss.
Luhrmann one was the one from
Oh,
1997,
no, I
right?
do recognize this one. Ah, God damn it.
I want us to watch this together. Just
Yeah,
Let me
'cause.
take a
yeah,
look.
yeah. This is bad. This feels like some that Titanic movie, man.
I've
Yeah.
been
Yeah, what's
curious
fucked
about
up is
This,
that
yeah,
like,
this looks like one of those animated Titanic films.
It's not an animated Titanic. Well, okay, there is a moment. From what I understand, there is a moment where they're in a sunken ship. It might be Titanic. I don't know.
from the director of An American Tale, Fievel Goes West, and We're Back, a dinosaur story. Huh.
Yeah.
I didn't expect to see that. Okay.
So yeah. Um.
Why is there no
Wh-
credited writer on Letterboxd? Who wrote this movie? Did he ask to have his name taken off? You know what? Yeah, I would probably. Okay, Romeo and Juliet. Guess we're watching possibly another So Bad It's Good movie. Who knows?
I
don't
doubt it.
know. We'll find out.
Yeah. All right. Don't worry. I'll break the streak. Romeo and Juliet, Sealed with a Kiss. 2006. I'm very surprised it came out this late, but hell yeah. All right.
Close this
Seems
out.
fun.
It's gonna be a terrible movie, man. And we're gonna watch it. All three of us.